We got over a half an inch of rain last night. It's 4th of July. Thought we'd do a little quick tour just to see where things are at. I think overall, generally, we're further than we were last year, but there were some individual things that just aren't as far. We have potatoes going. I do know there's a couple cucumbers in there, and this volunteer tomato over here has little tomatoes on it already. My popcorn is a lot taller than it was last year. And my wall of sunflowers. I am patiently waiting for some of these flowers to bloom here. The blazing star is about to go. And I've got calendula. There's supposed to be coneflower. 2 of them in here. One, I think, disappeared. One is still very tiny. I was hoping those would take off. I'm still waiting for all this rutabaga. If this doesn't flower, we'll be upset that I left it all in there. My salvia didn't do anything. I transplanted it, so I'm sure it's getting used to life. I think there's a couple zinnias that should be ready pretty quick here. My lavender did really well this year, though. And the ranunculus is about to go. I'm excited for that. Everything's looking pretty decent over here. I've got rows of beans. I've got some peppers. These were some cherry tomatoes. I had to prop that one up. It was kind of laying down. More beans. Just a cosmos. A bunch of tomatoes, which are doing that weird curly thing again, which we chalked up to pesticide drift or like pesticides in the soil a couple years ago, but this is new soil, and the tomatoes over there are fine. So not really sure what's going on here. Keep an eye on it, I guess. Some straw flowers that I threw in there. My paths are no longer paths. I've got hollyhocks growing. I have lettuce growing in the path, thistles, grass, sunflowers. I should maybe do something with this path sometime. I hear my child yelling at me. Over here we've got the seed trial watermelons. There was 3. One died, but another one started to come up after many, many weeks. So I'm not really sure what the story is on that, but we'll let her go. I have no idea how to record that in my findings. Spaghetti squash I threw in there, and a couple cabbages I threw in there. These 3 are also seed trial watermelons, and 3 cantaloupes, 4 Brussels sprouts, though the one there is looking kind of sad. More volunteer sunflowers, and then my raspberries are looking pretty good. Here's the sunflower wall. Pretty much all that's volunteer. Over here, the amaranth is starting to bloom. We did get some snap peas out, and they're still going, but they're not doing spectacular. That one's too far gone. Actually, there's a bunch that are too far gone. How did I miss those? I just picked some yesterday. The oregano, thyme, chives, rosemary. So many weeds. That's not a weed. Where is it? I'm trying to plant that. It's kind of hoping I have a day today where nothing's going on. I was going to do some work out here, but everything is soaking wet. There's some borage in here that's going to bloom soon, and some dill back here, zucchinis. And the last one is coquezel. The volunteer sunflowers, as always. Another volunteer sunflower. These are patty pans. They're a lot bushier than I expected or remembered. Onions, and I threw in some bunching onions the other day. Just a random Cosmo, and then another row of radishes I put in, purple carrots. This is my planter for the county fair. She's looking a little squished. I think the rain came down pretty hard last night. There was a weed in here I wanted to pull. There it is. Lettuce that is beyond its date. I need to pull all that out. I've got a celery hiding in there. Back here is some flat sorrel. So once I pull this up, hopefully that will perk up a little. Here's the raspberries. And the middle one is a golden raspberry, which I think are some are ready to pick. Yummy. That's the popcorn, or it's glass gem, but it's popcorn. Couple pots. We still have to level some of these out. Strawberries are doing okay considering they've been transplanted 1,000 times. There's so many weeds in here. I don't even know what is going on. I'm not happy about that. The arch. These bottle gourds are going crazy and I love it. The loofah has started. That should go wild as soon as it gets going here. Just taking a little bit. Here, this one. I expect this whole thing to be covered, especially with the loofah, because those take up a ton of space. I just hope they get going soon enough. Everything's starting to flower, except for the loofah. I haven't seen these ones are daisy gourds, I think. And this one's gonna need to be trellised. But there's some little bitty bottle gourds on there starting. So that's exciting. The garlic looks kind of sad, especially on this side. This side is so full of this grass, it's impossible to pull out. I've got a couple marigolds I put in there. Some of the pumpkins look okay, some are just stunted. I've got 2 dead leaves going on 3 and 4, so pretty soon, next week or 2, those should be ready to go. And then maybe I can get rid of some of this weeds. I am still on my mission for squash vine borers. I am not seeing very many moths out lately, but I don't usually see a lot. I see 1 or 2, but they lay a ton of eggs. I've been picking eggs daily. I have found a couple plants that have had eggs hatch and burrow into the stem, teeny tiny still. I stabbed them in an attempt to get rid of. I'd have to mix up some BT. So I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers that my pulling eggs and using my electric fly swatter on the moths is going to help. But volunteer sunflowers, which is also probably going to stunt my garlic because they're really shaded. There's another marigold in there. I did weed this side in the middle. Here it's looking not so good, but at some point, once once the pumpkins kind of take over, I'll be kind of out of luck on the weeding part. The new Vigo beds, they're starting to go. They're not filling out as fast as I thought they would, but it's all flowers and whatever else I had to stick in, like the Dusty Miller I had extra, so I stuck in. These guys are coming back. I transplanted these, so I'm good to see that. Glad to see that they have flowers. But eventually the cosmos are starting to go. Once the cosmos take off, this will be nice and bushy. And looks like the zinnias are going to pop soon too. And this one actually looks a little better, a little bushier for what's in it. Everything's kind of laying down right now because of the rain. Hoping some of it will perk back up. That's that. Same. My one of the 6 varieties of spider flower for the seed trial is doing all right. I think there's one on that side that maybe just finally started growing, but nothing else. Just this one little batch over here. This side got weeded a little better for some reason. Usually it's that side. I think because the weeds over here weren't the same. They weren't the low grass that's hard to pull out. But this has a lot more sunflowers on this side. So the garlic, we'll see. Just, I planted like 200, so we should be okay. But I'm patiently waiting to be able to pick those and really hoping that they have decent bulbs on them. But that is where everything's at. On July 4th, after some rain, the sun comes out, stuff's really going to start. Not really start, it's already started. It's going to continue to go wild. I can get some more new lettuce in here. Farmer's market starts this week. I don't have a lot to bring. I do have, okay, this is ridiculous. I have like one zucchini. That one's got kind of a rotted end. There might be 2 in there. And then I think there's a green one down there. So maybe that one will, 3 zucchini, yay. Oh, I think I have some snap peas in the fridge I could bring. I don't know what else. Not much. It'll be slow, but yeah, someone needs to deal with this. I don't know who that is.